Welcome back to Planet Coaster. I'm your host, Brothgar, and today I've got another experiment for you. Now, today's experiment is about money. And you know what I like about games that are all sim and everything? In case you haven't noticed, I like it when it has to do with money. So, I want to be able to answer the question that is, if I look at a ride's prestige number, can I then predict how much money I can charge people to get on that ride without them thinking that it's too much? Because you want to get the most money out of your rides. I mean, I like that. I like money. I like being able to experiment and find the most profitable ways to do things. Last time we looked to see how to get the most people through the rides, and now we're going to see how to get the most out of their wallets. As you can see, I have set up many things here that are going to encourage people to spend lots of money, namely about 30 or so ATMs, because I think that's going to help right there. We're going to be charging them as much as possible. Also get some drinks and stuff. That's not going to be related. Anyhow, what I got going on here is many rides. As you can see, this is kind of the same ride setup that I had from the scenery rating test that I did. Same park, same sort of setup, but I've added some other rides here. So we got the boa constrictor from another episode. We also got the Arctic Rush and then a couple of the pre-builts from the game right here. So that one right there, even some of these kind of excitement rides. So over here I have a spreadsheet. I'm going to go ahead and try to figure out the maximum amount of money I can put on there. So maybe 45, 50 bucks. And then I will be able to graph, hopefully, the prestige rating to how much money it costs and come up with a graph that will hopefully help us be able to predict how much money we can charge based on the prestige right here. So let the test begin. 50 bucks. Who's going to ride it? Who's going to pay 50 bucks to get on my roller coaster? Anybody? Nobody. Hey, there's somebody willing to do 50 bucks. Thank you very much. Oh, there goes 3, 4. Holy crap. Look at how much profit this is making. 17,000 last month at 45 bucks. So if I reduce it down to 45, hey, look, now people are getting on. Okay. See, now that makes a big difference. 45 is still enough to fill up the ride fast enough with this crowd of people, but that's really not going to be what you want. I mean, it is what you want if you want a lot of money. All right, so the first thing I noticed right here is that this guest thoughts thing it decays over time. Like, it doesn't happen all at once. It's not a direct response. You actually have to wait for certain things to come back. So this is actually going to take a long time to optimize this. All right, so it's taken me forever to kind of get my brain wrapped around what's going on here. I finally got 2 rides optimized the best I can do them, which is the Orion Full over here. I got this down to 0% of people thinking that this is too expensive, and therefore it's making quite a bit of money. Don't get me wrong, you could probably charge a little bit more, but I'll cover that in a bit here. So I was able to graph that, and then I came over to this ride over here, which is the Sunflare, which at $479, I was able to find that I can charge $13 to fill this up at exactly 0% people thinking that it is too expensive. So I was able to graph these 2 things over here. So prestige and make that money, and I'm able to more or less look at this graph and start to figure out that maybe this is directly linear. We're going to find out as I move on over here to this next roller coaster. The reason I'm starting to think that is that this ride over here, the Orion Zero, is rated at 976. If I look at my chart here, which still needs a little bit of work, that should put it right around $26, $27. And currently, I'm getting 7%. This is so expensive, and I'm charging 30 bucks. So if I go down to 27, and then we just watch this over a bit of time here, I'm expecting this to drop, hopefully, off just about completely. Interesting. So it was at 27, and I saw 1%. This is too expensive. So 26 should completely get rid of that, which means it's in line with my chart. I think I'm on to something. Oh my, look at this mass of people. Ugh. Okay, we gotta shut down this park for a little bit. Get rid of some people. Holy crapoli. Too many people. Go home. 12,000 people. All right, so looking at my boa constrictor here, I have a prestige level of 871. So if I come on over here, 875 is right about there. And if I go on up, then that puts me right at $23. So $23 should mean that I would have a 0% sort of rating as far as people that are going to argue with this, if everything is accurate. Aha, there we go. 2%. The boa constrictor is so expensive. And what am I at? I'm at $26. 26 puts me right here, which is roughly $2. One, two. Well, it's actually $3 more than what I should be charging according to my chart. So if I go 25, it seems like about $1 is about 1% roughly. Ooh, there it is, 3%. Oh, my results are becoming consistent. Ha ha! $23. This should go down to 0% now. I'm right around 1 to 2%. Yeah, there we go. It's struggling. I'm struggling to see that at all. Hey, I've done it. I think my chart is like, it's right on. People complain about being full. So let me just close it down. We'll bring a bunch more people in and we'll see if it works. Yeah, there we go. We've nailed it. Sweet. All right, so test update for you. I've gone through several roller coasters and several rides thus far, plotting the results that I was able to find right here and getting all the results down to where I found 0% of people thinking that this ride was too expensive. How much that was in money, nearest dollar, I was able to figure that one out. And then the prestige number over there. I was able to use these numbers to determine a graph. And I was able to use this graph several times to actually predict what that number was going to be. So I made a bit of a calculator right down here. And this calculator should allow anybody, or including me, to go ahead and put in the prestige number right there, and then it will determine how much money I can charge for that ride and still obtain 0% people that are going to complain. So Arctic Rush is the one ride that I did not do. It's not within my test result here. So 935 prestige is what I have. So if I go in over here and I put $935, then I should be able to charge $24.86. If I look at it right now, you can see there's a lot of people thinking that it's too expensive, but that's because it's at $30, which makes sense. It more or less seems like about $1 above 0% equals about 1% of people thinking it's too expensive. It seems to be pretty linear that way. So if I go to 24.86, we're going to see if anybody complains about this being too expensive. 24.9, I guess I can't do to the nearest cent, but I'm going to go ahead and close this down. I'm going to get a bunch of people out of it and then let them come back in, and we're going to see how that changes the guest thoughts. And you can see right here, nobody is complaining that it is too expensive. Ha 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 ha! Yes! And it filled right up. Nobody complained that it was too expensive right there. The problem is that the line's just not long enough. Okay, so one last test here. I've made the entrance ridiculously long, nice and sloppy like that. And I'm not going to get anybody thinking that it is too expensive. Oh, there it is. It's a 2%. Oh, no. Oh, you know what happened? My prestige rating went down. See, 828. I ran this path next to some other stuff. It actually went down. So it's now, hang on. I can't see. 828, which means I need to charge $22.01 technically to this. Ha! That was a mistake, but it actually provided a very interesting result and also opened up yet another question. I made the path longer, which I thought would have brought it next to more scenery, which would have increased its prestige. But we saw the prestige go down. Oh, so very interesting, huh? All right, so final test. Here we go. I've got the guest thoughts down to 1%. People are going to try to get on this. What are they going to think? Looks too intense. Are they going to complain that it's too expensive? I'm still at $22, which should put me right at the limit of what people are willing to pay. And look at this. The guest thoughts, they just want to get on the ride. They don't care how much money it is. Yes! So there you have it, guys. That actually worked out really good. It took a long time to zero in exactly on that 0% for many of these rides. But what I came up with is you can multiply your prestige by 37.6. And if you multiply that, you should then come up with how much you can charge people to get on your ride. For some odd reason, 37.6 seemed to work out in my park. We'll have to go ahead and figure that out in some other parks and see if these results continue to work. But I think it's going to work pretty good. Everything I've seen in this game seems to be, pre-calculated in that regard. The other thing I noticed is that in a high traffic area, you can still fill up your rides to your queues, even if you do charge above what people are willing to spend. You just got to be aware of what that percentage is. And it seems to add 1% per dollar over of what the maximum number they're willing to spend. So there you have it, a couple of different guidelines. If you want to kind of reduce your queues but increase your profits, you can charge a little bit more over that. So you can either use this calculator, which I will have down there in the description below. You can go ahead and pop that in. It'll be really simple based on my results right here. Or you can just multiply it by 37.6 and get yourself very, very close. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys have found this video somewhat informative or helpful. If you did, maybe leave a like button on the way out and let me know of some things you might want me to try out here in Planet Coaster. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. If I've earned your subscription, then thank you so much for that. Stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar out. Make that money!